On the beat.
Hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah, oh, hey yeah, hey yeah, hey yeah, oh. People them up, ready to be young, like a mommy son, like a bad dramatic. Mononyo, Agila ya robbing, Agila ya robbing, Agila ya robbing, Agila ya robbing. Come on, bless. Atiwa, Escorpion, Atiwa, Falseria, Atiwa, La Police, Atiwa. Bineva Caravana, Sakuru Campana, Rayana Montana, Opezu and Aguila.
To my beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, Mbolo and my dear royals, this is your queen, Ngningone, second of the name, 17th generation crown queen of the Fangs and of the Diaspora and Africans, also known as the Immortals, my beautiful people. So welcome back to Nubia. Now, if you are watching me for the first time, Mbolo, my name is Queen Ngningone and I'm the host here at Nubia, The Path to Return. You are welcome. If you like my vibe, stick around. I promise you, you will learn something. Okay? Now, to my returning and amazing royals of Africa, welcome back. Okay, my beautiful people, let's gather around this fire. Okay, let's have an African conversation. Now, this conversation really is for the Black people, because if I say African, some of them would feel that, we ain't African, we Black, but when really the message is for them, all right? Those who lost their ways, those who lost track, I mean, to the point they're not African anymore. But if you're a Black person, come around this fire, let's talk. Okay, so to my beautiful people, we gather here. We are going to have an African conversation. Let's have this conversation with our beautiful people of Africa. My dear children, what are we talking about today? What we are talking about today is the lynching of Adama Diallo. Okay?
Look at you! Look at you! Beat you like a lag! You like you about to fly away on carpet,
You prostitute! No, don't get out. They'll come get your ass out
you
of
a
here.
prostitute.
Stay in here.
The fuck?
Stay in here.
Stay where we
Stay in
here.
here. Stay right here.
We stay right here.
We are right here.
Prostitute.
Okay?
The fuck?
You see who you dealing with.
Who you dealing with?
Huh?
Look at you with your ugly ass. Take your ass back to Africa, Spain, wherever the fuck
Get
you
your
from.
ass back to the
The fuck?
slavery.
With your
boat.
ugly ass.
You get out of the
fuck?
boat, you ugly
Fuck.
slave.
Talking
You
about
are a
you
slave.
talking
Look
about a
You
prostitute,
are
bitch.
a
You got on
slave.
some motherfucking footies with some
You are a
motherfucking
slave.
with some
You
tap
are a
dance
fucking
shoes.
slave. You
Get
are
the
a
fuck
slave.
up.
Get the fuck out of my place. You
You
are
a-
a slave.
you
Look
a
at you, a
slave.
dog. A dog, you living on kiosks, living on people's tax money and coming here and be giving
You
people.
man.
Get your ass out and go get yourself
Your
a job.
boy-headed ass.
You bitch.
You
All
bitch.
of you guys, you are a bitch, okay?
You bitch.
Yeah.
All of you guys, you
yeah.
bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Get out.
You know?
Get out. Get out of my place.
Get out your place.
I'm not gonna get you nothing you want, okay? Not job, okay? Go find it. You're coming here and harassing people.
You mad.
You asshole.
I'm posting her on Google.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. You are on Kiesos. Who knows what the heck you doing?
And you right.
Kiesos
You right.
ass nigger.
You right.
You Negro.
You right.
You are a Negro.
You
Look
right.
at you.
She said,
Coming
"You
from
right,
both
Negro."
You
both
right.
people ass
You
niggers.
right.
Look at you.
You right.
Go get your ass and get yourself a job.
You right. Hold on, no, babe, I'm waiting.
Our beautiful sister who was stripped of her livelihood because she was lynched by Black American, our people in America. Okay? So we are going to talk about the lynching, and we are going as usual. You know, this is the channel where we handle sensitive topic because as a queen, I'm not going to get silence, all right, for playing politics. That's not what a queen is for. I will tell you the truth and the harsh truth because I owe it to our ancestors. Okay? I'd rather fight with you, my dear children, than having to fight with my ancestors for disobedience. Okay, my dear people, so we are going to talk about the lynching. Why do I call it lynching? My dear children, I call it lynching because an entire community joined forces against someone who wasn't given a chance to defend herself. Isn't what lynching was? All they need is just point finger and read the charges against you and scoop you up without trial, without lawyer, and hang you up on a tree. Right, my people?
Well, Miss Adama Diallo has now had her license revoked. It's being alleged that that license is revoked, baby. Now, remember, this is the nurse practitioner whom has her LinkedIn page saying that she is actually an MD, and she is not. But we're not going to discuss that. She's a nurse practitioner, and on 8/8, they have screenshots out there showing that her license was active. Let's look at that. So this was on 8/8. Her license was active. When all of this stuff hit the fan, it was active. Well, guess what? Now, I went onto the website to verify that what I'm seeing on social media is actually correct. And yep, it's inactive. You know what's so sad, though, about this whole situation is that she allowed a heat of the moment, split seconds, to expose her character of who she truly is. This is not just, I was mad. This is who she truly was. And at the end of the day, you are a professional. You went through a lot of school to get to where you are. I'm not even going to talk about the sacrifices that it probably took from you to get from the country that you came from to get to America. Then you have your own practice, and you allowed a split second interaction to cost you everything that you worked for. We don't know what's going to happen next, but that is extremely unfortunate for her. You Negro! You prostitute! You bitch!
And yes, it's a lynching. Also, the level of satisfaction after they were successful in stripping her off of her licenses. She had her own practice, so she lost her nurse practitioner practice and RN practice and even the license to have an establishment.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
I was wondering what you would say to President Obama.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
So you have to see in there, when we, the elders, we look from afar. When you hear that we are dealing with principalities, it's not just a word. Because as a group of people who have been conquered, colonized, or enslaved, trust and believe that we are dealing with the entities tied to such practices. So, anything you do, anything is energy. Anything has spirit. The plants have spirit. The earth, everything, the element. We are ourselves, we are spirit. The body is just a vessel. So any activity you conduct that create a particular type of energy, if it's a dark energy, an accumulation of it, it becomes an entity of its own. Even worse, once you recognize it as such and name it, everything that has a name has a spirit behind it. So trust and believe for people who have been colonized and or enslaved, those that were successful in breaking the Congo spirit in, the Zulu, guess what occupies their vessel? The spirit of slavery and colonization. So what does it mean? On a physical plane, we look just the same. But in the spiritual plane, they are our arch enemies. And you have to be aware of it. So in today's survival, it's no longer about just bothering with the color of the skin. You have to look deep in their eyes if they allow you. So you could see the content, not of their character, but the content of their spirits. Okay? So, yes, slavery is a spirit, just like colonization is. So the activities, the practices they were conducting during that time, and they name it colonization or slavery, is the spirit of the enslavement of Black people. Okay? The spirit of binding them, enslaving them. That's why they hate anything African in you, because they want to make sure that they no longer have to do the job. We will do to one another. And that brings us for today's topic. I believe our people would do better if they knew better. Okay? So you saw the spirit of slavery in full display when it comes to the way they handle Adama. When he called her prostitute, that's one of the worst insults you can call an African woman. Okay? Because once you have called our daughter prostitute, you have called her sisters prostitute, you have called her mothers, her aunties, the women who made her the woman she is, you have insulted all of us. And to us African, we understand somebody's mother is my mother. Somebody's sister is my sister. Somebody's brother is my brother. Segundo, when he said go back to Africa, to us that's a slur, like the N-word. Because contrary to what many of you now believe, okay, before you were American, you were our relatives. You were our stolen cousins, our stolen uncles, our stolen aunties. And I guess the beating was brutal enough to make you hate us all together. So not because the way you view us has changed that we have to. We have a moral and spiritual obligation to anybody we share blood with. That's why we don't go off on you guys. But just know that there's nothing you have in you that we don't have. We just use temperance because we still see our relatives through you all. If some of you wonder how those you call migrants, when they come here, they can easily surpass you. Mind you, they do have programs that put money in migrants from certain nationalities, but I never heard of such program for Africans, right? Oh, they give them money to come and that. But 90% of the migrants, they have to start from scratch, from zero. What makes you understand that process, that someone who came with nothing, with all kinds of disadvantages, today is living much better than me? We come from bloodlines who were not exposed to slavery. We come from bloodlines who worked consciously. They were careful to the kind of curses they bring around, to the kind of people they have children with. Because as you know, we are our ancestors. Whatever they had, we have now. None of you had attended a real lynching, but that spirit is in you that you do it naturally. You found a reason to get together to destroy somebody you yourself know one of yours has offended. As much as many of you claim Pan-African, I didn't see one of you come and say, wait a minute. Yes, she sent him back to the plantation because only a plantation God gonna tell you go back to Africa. That's what they were trying to do. And who were plantation gods? Slaves. Why are we playing all of the sudden so sensitive to words? But we do the worst to each other. I found it to be very hypocritical. If you don't act like a plantation god, nobody gonna call you a slave. So you have to understand that we're battling principalities. Okay, so when you go and ruin somebody's livelihood, knowing that you're wrong, my dear children, when you find people lynching somebody, walk away. Be the one to ask, have we heard from the person? Our elders tell us anybody who takes you to court in your absence is a liar. And that's how they conduct lynching, is without court. They just point all kind of accusation and they proceed with the execution of you. They have you hanging on a cord. That's exactly what they did to our daughter Adama. I didn't see any of you, even the biggest Pan-Africans. So is that silver lining? We are one as long as you take abuse around us. If it's the kind of brotherhood you want, we don't need it. We don't want it. But before we shut that door, we have to tell you what it encompasses. When you see us come and do good, a lot of it is not our own doing. Their ancestors force us in the spirit, pushing, knocking doors for us, because we come from bloodline that respected maintaining our bloodlines holy. They knew and observed the laws of the universe. Because we come from bloodlines that didn't betray. So life is a little easier for us. We come from bloodline that help others build. We came from bloodlines that protected others. So yes, ours are extremely protected. This is the spiritual equity our ancestors left some of us. But we also have to understand that not all of us, the ancestors, were conscientious of their deed. Especially in the position they put us in a position of survival. So of course, many of our ancestors also betrayed themselves by turning their back to that which is right. So if you were raised by a woman like these women who post the videos, when our people said the woman is the first teacher, they be the worst teacher. So you see a lot of madness around, people acting up. It's because the majority of our people are dysfunctional. There's only about 5% of them who are still Congo. You feel the Congo spirit when you come around them. They still have that genuine Bantu love. They still can vibrate at that level. The other ones are very dark. You pray not to have an encounter with any of them. Because when you encounter any of them, it's like a fight can break out of nowhere. You can go from smiling just a minute ago, one wrong word. Yeah, this is how bad they made our people. So you have to understand what you're dealing. You have to kind of take more precaution in reading more people. So when you see us coming and achieving stuff, don't get jealous, because we are not the same on a spiritual level. So when you go, you find people lynching people, because your feelings got hurt. But you lack wisdom to even wonder, like, okay, what if it was my mom? Let's say I'm a migrant. Let's say I wasn't born here, and it was my mom, a client come and insult prostitute in front of me. How would that feel? You're not able to do that? Then you're one of them. And sadly, I didn't see any of you coming out and say, since when it's okay to call our women prostitute? So to the royals out there, is either you have it, you step up, because we need to see that those of you who have sense still exist. We want to see more that would come and say, no, this is not okay. Because if you operate as a gang, we're going to leave you alone. You're going to remain the gang you want to be. But these things, you guys do freely are dangerous. The former masters who have taken everything from us, look at them. They can't keep their head above the water. These spiritual laws don't play. Okay? The prophecy about our people said that which is lost will be found. That which is stolen will be returned. Our wealth they stole will return. Look at Mali. They recently not only found Mansa Musa vault, the largest gold reserve. They finally found that vault. And recently they found the biggest oil reserve in the entire continent of Africa. They have surpassed Nigeria, who's the #1 producer in Africa. Why? Our land is very sacred. Our people are very sacred. When the right bloodlines are on the head of the land, Mother Africa releases the hidden wealth. Okay? And guess what she does too when you mistreat her children? She dries the ground you walk on. Wherever you are, the ground you walk on will dry. So those of you with ears, please listen to me, my children. Stop damaging your bloodlines because of evil. Right is right. You don't go to war, and yes, you have a soft spot nobody can touch, but your angle is wide open there. You go to war and then you get poked and you come crying like a little sassy girl. We need to grow up, because trust and believe, the ancestors of that girl, the wealth is spiritual. When you destroy her financially, she's gonna get a big lump sum in the spirit. The many of you who participated, use your energy to sit on the phone, to report her, to send email, to harass through faxes. Yeah. Her ancestors, when they present that case before Nzambe, all of you, your warehouse is going to be emptied out and given to her. Do you know how many family that clinic was sustaining back in Africa? Do you know the destiny of some of her siblings that may change forever because of your hatred? And you guys think such acts are just brushed away? No. There's no telling how many ones of her nephews she had to sponsor through schools. So how many of them, how many people's destiny will be derailed due to your evil and hatred for who she is, which is an African woman, will lead many of you to ruin. So when one of our son or daughter go and put a resume next to yours and their name get called, we turn around and tell on the street, they prefer these Africans. They prefer these Africans because these Africans bow down to them. You are spiritually dirty. Do you think her ancestors gonna let any of you catch a big break when you sunk their bloodline into poverty? Come on, my people, think. Think. Such things are forbidden. I know the spirit of slavery and spirit of colonization caused many of us to thirst for blood. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I'm here to tell you what comes with it. Okay? A lot is spiritual. A lot of what goes on with you, our children in America, is spiritual. So it's either you're going to rise from it or you're going to sink and let your ship sink. Because we won't have that. We, brother, as long as we can take your abuse. I haven't seen one of you, And that's the mentality they have. When I have a problem, I go to my African brothers. I say, this monkey is harassing me, check them. You go to these black Americans, they won't protect you. They will sit there and wait for drama to happen. Yeah, we still have that thing, je ne sais quoi, but get rid of it. Right is right. Crown comes with courage. Many of you, your forefathers were kings, but you lost it. You can't speak. When you see wrong, you can't dare. You have a responsibility, the healthy one of us. So when you do stuff like that, just know the repercussion. You're going to have children struggling through lives. They're going to apply their reject. They're going to apply their reject. Well, there's a debt in your bloodline. You had an aunt, you had a mother, you had a father, grandfather. All they were doing was destroying people's career. People they hated, they destroyed their career. You go and marry a woman or a man who comes from such bloodline. Here you come and bring generational struggle in your own bloodline. That's why we Africans just don't mix with people left and right. We want to know where your blood's been. How have your people treated people? Were they unaliving people? Were they selling people out? Were they taking from other ones of us? We want to know all that. That's why we take the names and the picture to the oracle. Look into their bloodline. Not only them, are they spiritually compatible? Look into the bloodline. What are we receiving? Who's coming? How many innocent blood? Can we handle it? Yes, no, we decline. Because we know how it affects. Okay? So my beautiful children, when I speak of the spirit of colonization and the spirit of slavery, it means that everything, all the activities and practices that were conducted, the vibrational level of those activities have constituted an entity in itself, which they named. Okay? Anything with a name has a spirit attached to it. This is what you need to understand. That's what you need to know. Okay? So spiritually, when you go and damage somebody's livelihood, depending on her ranking, if she was the queen of her generation in her bloodline, they set her up for her to take care of the other ones. Guess what? Whatever gonna be destroyed there, damage, whether in destinies, whether in achievement, whether in life expectancy, whatever will suffer due to what you all did, pray. A lot of our people want to play that politics. You know, you are who you've been around. You are who you hang around. Our people who were colonized by these Caucasian, a vast majority of them, they go back to their Caucasian way. The spirit in them is no longer Congo. Because our people innately are loving. When you are an African, you're born knowing right from wrong. You know that this is wrong. I condemn white people for the preferential treatment they give to their people, but I want to have a preferential treatment around Africans. It makes no sense. Look at this guy, this piece of shit. I featured him in one of the videos. The spirit of slavery put in him, his mind, that he could ever make me a slave. So some people, we live with that low self-esteem. We were colonized, we were enslaved, we couldn't break free. But the next weakest link to us, we're ready to put those ropes on them. And in the diaspora, for those of our children who live in the diaspora, they live in the white man's land under the white man's law. So what are those ropes? It's through the legal way. How do they get you involved? How do they get you bind up? If number one, you marry them or you hire them. Anything they're going to find legally possible to bind you, they're going to use. So yes, this piece of shit, I told you from a previous video, after my crowning, my ancestors told me they're going to bring forth an opportunity which will help me raise the fund to take care of the ancestral land. And I was instructed to give those, the descendant of those we have lost, desiring to come back home, give them a piece of it so they take root on the land of our ancestors. So when they crowned me and gave me that mission, I was like, where am I going to get the resources from? They told me, don't worry about it. And sure enough, from my trip, it didn't take long. I received an email. A client already had told me, I want your company to send a bid to corporate headquarters, see if we can extend your offer to our sisters' location around the country. So basically, I was being offered to participate in a bid for a contract of worth $30 million. And I had this piece of shit who went to school with me, who came begging for money. It's funny, when they go around opening their big traps, African bags. Oh no, he came. He was playing the big brother in school. I was barely speaking English. I was learning English in this country. So here he goes. He found me on Facebook. So many years later, he saw I was a CEO. Oh, send me money. Send me this. My car is in the shop. My roommate is going to kick me out. And us African, what do we do to relatives? We send money. So he started taking advantage until he asked me for a job. I'm like, I really don't have an opening, but I'm doing this myself. But I'm going to let you dispatch my interpreters to my customers. Big mistake. He started defaming me to both my customers and my staff. Call my client. That contract, they awarded to my company. Okay? It was a boardroom full of white people. White people saw me worthy of such contract. One of us picked up the phone and called them. Don't do business with them. Africans are witches and wizards. She will bewitch you. Yes. So whichever bloodline were set to return through me, they have to deal with him now. That's how it works in the spirit. And depending on the level of the damage you cause, your entire bloodline becomes spiritual slave to the bloodline you caused losses. Yes, we have slaves in the spirit. People who stole so much from our ancestors. That's why when you come around people and their life seems like they're skating on wheels, leave them alone. You don't know what is behind their bloodline, how much they have suffered in previous incarnation. So you see, these things are no joke. This guy told me from his own mouth, bragging that he was happy to be the one who brought down my company. So you see, so when you're in America as an immigrant, you have to worry about the white supremacists. But even before you go to the point you have to worry about the white supremacists, you have to swim through these ones here. These 95%. Yes, they add stress to our being here. If you dare go to an administration, you need something. They're going to be the worst. I remember the day I gave my friend Margarita, she's a Colombian, Afro-Colombian. I gave her a ride to one of their offices to apply for some benefit. She had a baby and everything. They were supposed to give her help or something. She came back crying. She told me, esa negra me trató tan feo. She was shaking like that. She couldn't believe that a sister, a black sister, would give her the runaround when she was in desperate need for food. This is the thing we deal with in the administrations. Okay? Praise God when you found a nice one. Praise God. But me, I exercise my options. I would go to my Latinas. I would speak Spanish to them. They will take care of me like family. Unless I found one of us that the Spirit called me, like you can trust them, go talk to them. Other than that, I have to step out barricaded, spiritually barricaded, because of the level of hatred. This piece of shit you see on the screen, this guy called Romus Ray Simpson, he told me from his own mouth, I'm going to have you live in Motel 6 in America. And they're obsessive. So for years, he just keep calling and harassing and calling. Recently, he left a voice message on my phone. I had to call the FBI. And these authorities, they don't do anything because they're done breaking them. So now they come after their own people or unalive them, destroy them and unalive them. It's like obsessive. Many of them, when they see you, the African, with something, they feel obliged to come and destroy it. So you understand that with time, our people have developed a survival skill. Now we know that in things that is like life-changing and stuff, there's only 5% of you, we get that African love. And the funny thing is they will turn around. Everything they do to you, they will accuse you of being the one doing that. If you follow them, they will drive you crazy. So to the Africans, when you come in, is something even like a legal matter. Don't play around. Don't play around. Don't trust a life-changing thing as an African with a black lawyer. Sometimes they walk away with your money. They intimidate you. Yes, even realtor, when we were in school, she took money to find an apartment for us. The campus was she started barking. 2 days from the time the campus closed door, a black girl, she started barking, calling us banana boats, calling us immigrant, that we can take her wherever. She's not giving us our money back. There's always almost 90% an issue. But and yet there's those 5% of them you're going to see, you're going to meet, you're going to feel the Congo love in them. You don't need a long introduction. Someone like my dentist of 17 years, even the kind of hug she gives feel like the hug of the African mama. They are there, but it's like winning the lottery, 2 bump in one of them. Most of us, you kind of have to protect yourself first from our brothers and sisters that look just like us. They're the one who would tell you to your face, you don't deserve this. Go get it in Africa. A white person extends something, give to you that you're worthy. One of us would come and destroy it for you. This is what we deal with here. So the way they did Adama, because Adama case, he was on camera. But keep in mind, it's not just to us they do it. This is how they do to every black person they come in contact with, even their own local blood here. So it's that disease, that spiritual, that demonic possession, spirit of colonization, spirit of slavery. That's what we're dealing with. Our people back at home, they do the same thing to our people. The one who helps, the one who sacrifices for the bunch, that's the one they crucify. They literally make him a slave or make her a slave. In some really worst case scenario, sometimes themselves, they bind your ability to have children. So you won't have children of your own. All they're going to have you is take care of them and their children. They do some crazy stuff, and it's from the spirit of colonization. So you have to see that whatever we do bears weight in the spirit. We are not as simple as they made you believe. So, to my beautiful and amazing children, that's what it is. Okay? Nothing get lost. Nothing in the universe get lost. Everything gets transformed. Some of you were born with powers. that you have turned dark because of the things you dwell into. Okay? The ancestors of the light have run. They don't even know you anymore. You brought so much karmic depth to their bloodline, they can't even look at your way. So know what you're doing. And my children, I'm the type of mom, I won't tell you what not to do. If that's what you want to do, you want to destroy your bloodlines, acting foolish, acting like these slave masters, be your own guest. But my ancestors, my witness, if that's what you want to do, my beautiful children, you want to destroy your bloodlines, doing evil, thinking because you were snatched from us and brought to America, you are now more American than you are African, and you want to act according to the American level of wickedness. Too bad for you. Be my guest. But all I can do, our ancestors, my witness, is tell you what it is. Okay? The stones you cast in the spirit weight heavy. So think. Not because you said from your mom, I'm not African, no, that the laws and stuff don't apply to you. Not because you refuse and reject, like Master said. What you refuse, and that's a lie. Look at them. All the wealth they stole will manifest back in our ground. We are magical people. And don't allow the ground you step on dry from under your feet. Our Ghanaian people call him Doomsy. Is blackout. With the fun, we say, go young. If nighttime finds you, you at the farm. Yeah, nighttime, you in the forest at the farm, and nighttime surprises you. You can't see your way back to the village. What happened? You're going to be stranded in the wilderness in the middle of the night, probably being a good meal to either python, one of our lions, leopard, or even Black Panther. You're going to meet with one of our pets. So, I know you guys fight like the former masters. You also have to understand that per the African people, we believe, we are taught to be peaceful everywhere we go. Because once we have offended somebody, once we have casted a stone, once we have barked an insult, basically we have drawn the sword at somebody. We have to be ready for anything, including our death. Our elders teach us that we are not in a position to impose how it should go down. You lost that right when you casted the first stone. It's not all Africans who will bow to your abuse and bend over as low as you demand from them. Okay? So just like over here, among you are some peasants, and among you are some descendants of our royalty and priesthood. It's definitely obvious. The same way, when it comes to the Africans, not all of us are peasants. Not all of us gonna come and surrender our earnings to you for you to walk all over us. Okay? Not all of us are here as a refugee begging. So you're going to find some of us that will bow and go and sing your praises while you're oppressing them, abusing them, bullying them on daily basis.
Let me tell you something disrespectfully. You cannot dictate how somebody responds to disrespect. You cannot attack, critique, and demean someone and then tell them they're not allowed to disrespect you right back. You cannot negate the level of disrespect you're going to receive when you come acting crazy towards somebody. See, y'all want to be the bullies and the victims at the same time, but not all African people are going to stand for that. If you want respect, you must give respect. Stop throwing stones from a glass house. When you guys start to take accountability, we will follow suit. And you're Jamaican, so if it were you, they would have said the same thing the minute they heard that Jamaican accent.
In the diaspora, you're going to meet some king like Ali, who's going to throw it all away before he could settle to be treated like a slave, but be bouncing around entertaining them. Yes. So yes, Ali also got relative in Africa. So we still around. What do you think when you bring this kind of behavior? Who tells another black person go back to Africa if it's not a slave? Because go back, who can tell you that? Only a plantation guard. And who were plantation guards? Slaves. Okay? If we're going to go to war, we're going to go to war with our armor on. If you have a soft spot, go heal it first. Okay? So yes, they will weaponize anything. So not only was running around, all right, this gorilla was running around, celebrating, gaslighting, calling my phone at every beat, right? That he's so happy he's the one who brought my company down. And I was just shaking my head. I'm like, these are the slaves they have made of them. And then all of a sudden, he throws on my face, you are the people who sold us. This is them. When they approach you, they come and play that Pan-Africanism thing, especially the intellectual ones. They're the ones with the most concentrated hatred toward Africans. And then before you know it, they throw it on your face. So the lies of their former masters, they weaponize it at will against us. When they fail you, when they betray you, when they backstab you, they fall on their famous line, but Africans sold us. That's why a lot of people doesn't want to touch your collective. There's a lot of dirt crap that comes with it. And we are hopeless, watching from afar, because too many show sign that they're comfortable being and remaining dysfunctional. But my dear children, once you have made that choice, take it quietly. Have enough dignity that when they scratch, beat, or worse, one of you, mourn in your homes. Because this public display of self-hatred is just on another level. It's pitiful. Okay? We can do better. That was it for today's message. I hope you have learned something. We are not as simple as people, okay? So to my beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, you who know better, speak up. I want to believe that not all of you are sellouts, okay? Speak up. Right is right. All right, my beautiful ones. So peace, love, and unity. Until next time. Mwah.
Thank you for your comment, but I don't remember voting for you to be the representative for this delegation. I am African American, and you certainly don't speak for me. I'll keep saying this again and again. How we feel about ourselves or about other people, it has no bearing on actual history. Those of us who are descended from Black enslaved people from South America, the Caribbean islands, and in America, the United States of America, we are all a part of the same diaspora. Environment and culture are the things that have made us different, but we're from the same Africans that were bought over and enslaved in these various countries, and we are indeed family. Given the facts of what all of our ancestors endured in these various places, it's a testament to who they were, these African people that we are descended from. So although I am an American and I am incredibly proud of my ancestry as an American, I will never ever separate myself from other Black people in these places who are a part of the diaspora.
When you're gonna be